One night, Donovan goes to a restaurant, on a date. She is a few minutes early than the guy, who is a football coach of a high school team. Alex arrives late, but doesn't recognize her. It is Donovan who introduces herself first. Alex, who barely knows her name, smiles and tries pronouncing it. Inside the restaurant, a television shows a live football match broadcast. As a football coach and ex-varsity player, Alex can't help but watch the game. Donovan hates him on their first date, not because he is a bald guy, but because he is clumsy and unattentive. He may not look at the television, but he watches the game on his phone. Alex is very different from the perfect guy Donovan used to date. They broke up 3 months ago, and Donovan currently is learning about dating, desperate to find the right guy. She doesn't believe in someone who thinks it's better to wait for fate to make her meet her match. Donovan tried that method, but she ended up eating unhealthy snacks on weekends while watching movies. She happens to read a magazine where an article says that a woman her age has 1 in 5 chances of finding a husband. This fuels her to search for a guy as soon as possible. Donovan agreed to go on a date with Alex because his mom set them up for a blind date. She is concerned about her son not dating someone, so she fully supports them. Donovan is annoyed at Alex for having no table manners. She attempts to initiate a conversation, but he keeps looking at his phone that he has placed on his lap. His favorite team wins, and he jumps out for joy. He goes to the bar section to celebrate with the boys sitting before the television. Donovan feels uncomfortable when Alex leaves her without permission. He returns to the seat, but his head is turned to the television. Donovan wants to make it work, so she breathes deeply to extend her patience. She calls his attention, and this time, he listens. Donovan asks if he loves doing different things, besides coaching and watching football. Alex nods yes, but shyly reveals he has an artistic side. Donovan is delighted that at least he has other hobbies. Alex proudly shares that he can sing. Donovan finds it amusing, because he is way out of tune. Alex seems to be unaware of his funny voice, and continues singing with zeal. He dedicates it all to her. Donovan feels embarrassed to be with him. She looks around to see other people's reactions. There, she sees a girl at the next table. She smiles as she watches Alex. She looks entertained with the little performance, and glues her eyes at him. At that moment, Donovan realizes that in the dating battlefield, one warrior's forfeit is another's victory. After the performance, Alex returns to Donovan's table and shares his experience on stage. As he explains, he notices someone staring at him. It is the girl from earlier at the next table. Alex smiles back at her, and they look like a perfect match. It is only then that Donovan realizes how unpredictable love is. She returns home and accepts that her search for love continues. Donovan believes hope is why wounded warriors continue fighting for love. She can relate after finding a photo of herself and her ex-boyfriend, Patrick. Others may search for a new guy, but she prefers choosing Patrick all over again, the guy she considers perfect. Patrick is attractive, intelligent, and a gentleman. He works at a real estate and is considered an asset by his company. Everything was perfect in their relationship. They had already talked about marriage and plans for the future. Not until Patrick received a call from a premier Chicago firm looking for young talents in their real estate department. Patrick grabbed the opportunity and hoped to save for the future. The next day, Donovan sees her sister, Becky, sleeping on the couch after a movie marathon. She rests awkwardly, so Donovan removes her things and places a blanket over her. With a series of dating failures and to focus on her growth, Donovan leaves her hometown and goes to Chicago. It's been a hard decision because she has to leave everything and start a new life in a different town. Donovan starts a coffee shop, which she names Donovan's, near a seaside location. Every morning, she passes by a man who sells newspapers and buys some for her shop. Donovan becomes close to him and invites him over for a coffee. In the coffee shop, Donovan is lucky to have a hard-working lady, Sarah, assisting her. While having a morning coffee, Sarah keeps asking her about the football coach. Donovan laughs it out as she recalls the worst date of her life. Meanwhile, in New York City, Ben is a Broadway playwright, but seems to have lost his rhythm in writing. The producer is worried because it's his 2 plays with the worst earnings. He tells Ben to sleep or have a vacation to unwind. He needs to find inspiration like he used to 3 years ago. Ben has been an asset to his boss because of the excellent pieces he wrote. Ben, on the other hand, agrees with his suggestion because he also notices himself not in the mood to write. In the coffee shop, Donovan matches coffee to the customer's personality. One of them is Max, who lives in the neighborhood and is a good friend of Donovan and her late mom. Donovan is delighted to tell him she created a special blend that suits his character. Max gets excited and tries it out. He loves it because it tastes strong without the different sweeteners he hates. Shortly after, Kevin, Becky's boyfriend, orders a triple caramel dream with a coconut pump. Hearing this, Max teases him that it's more of a wedding cake than a coffee. Ben calls Kevin. He tells him to cancel his trip to New York with Becky because his play will not be pushed through. He shares how the producer is dismayed by his work. Kevin advises him to take a break and visit a place for inspiration. He also tells him to bring Jessica along for them to have a double date soon. Ben laughs because he and Jessica are over. Ben says he will think of Kevin's suggestion before ending the call. The sleepy Becky arrives to have some coffee. Kevin hugs his girlfriend, asking how the movie marathon went last night. Becky loved it, especially the romantic actor, comparing it to him, who doesn't initiate sweetness. Donovan and Sarah make fun of Kevin because of that. Soon after, Illy arrives, the coffee shop's new barista. He is funny, telling Donovan to watch out, because he becomes faster at work, and will soon replace her. Donovan is not threatened, asking him why he arrived late. Everyone laughs because of that. Becky asks her sister how her date went last night. She is curious to know if they set another meetup. Donovan tells her the guy is a football varsity player in college, and a coach of a high school football team. Becky and Sarah are amazed just by imagining how amazing the guy would be. Not until Donovan reveals he has bad table manners, and is a trying hard singer who forgets her name. Becky says it's expected, because her name is odd. Sarah also tells her maybe he is in an adjustment period. Donovan laughs because she doesn't know how to explain to them how much worse he is as a date. Out of nowhere, Becky tells her sister to check her computer. Donovan smells something fishy. She may have been setting another blind date for her. Donovan checks her laptop and sees a message from Patrick, her ex-boyfriend. It's been a year already, and he will visit her in the town to talk. Patrick says he misses her a lot, which confuses Donovan. She doesn't know how to respond, because he left her. Becky advises Donovan to forget it and give him another chance. Since he messaged again, it only means his love is not over. Donovan refuses, because they are over, and there's nothing left to continue. Becky talks to Kevin, stressed about her sister dating losers. Kevin laughs and asks why she meddles in Donovan's love life. Becky wants her sister to experience a happy relationship, like what they have. Kevin's heart flutters hearing this. Becky then requests him to help her find a guy for Donovan. Kevin cannot say no to his girlfriend, so he replies yes. Becky kisses him, happy he grants her request. Donovan is closing the shop when Sarah asks her if she needs someone to talk to. She knows about Patrick because Becky told her. Donovan replies there is nothing to talk about because nothing's changed. Sarah says that nothing may have changed for her, but she needs to prepare if something has changed with Patrick. Sarah's words make Donovan think of Patrick even more. She looks at his message again and plays piano to release her mixed emotions. On the same night, Kevin reaches out to Ben. He suggests he should visit their town instead of going to another place. He assures him the inspiration he needs is at Donovan's coffee shop. Ben ponders over it, but has doubts. The next day, Donovan receives a mail about her mortgage rate increase. Donovan had taken loan from Mr. Connor's bank to finance her shop. She is nervous after reading the notice because she can't pay it back sooner. Kevin, who happens to go inside her room, sees it. He searches for Becky's phone and notices Donovan's worried face. Kevin is an accountant and tells her he can help if she's having a problem with her bank. Donovan hides the paper immediately. She thanks Kevin, but refuses his help. She will just talk to Mr. Connor to settle the issue. In the coffee shop, Donovan's first customer is an old man in a suit. Donovan greets him enthusiastically because he looks stressed while talking to someone on the phone. The businessman orders anything she recommends. Donovan proudly tells him she's the right woman to match customers with their perfect coffee. All he needs to do is to tell her about himself. The man shares he works in investment banking. Donovan suggests a strong taste of caffeine and chai flavor to match the heavy responsibility and stress he's in. The man is amused and thanks her, calling her by her name. Donovan is surprised because she doesn't know him. They only met that day, so she asks how he knows her. The man says he saw it on the letter of request she sent for an extension of her business loan. Donovan feels embarrassed that Mr. Connor shows her personal information to strangers. The man says Mr. Connor has nothing to do with this because he has all her bank information details. He is Frank Miller, the bank's new owner. Mr. Connor sold the bank to him months ago. Frank opposes Mr. Connor's way of managing the bank. He is too kind to give consideration to the neighborhood about their loans, causing the bank to almost close. Compared to Mr. Connor, Frank is more strict with his clients. He is upfront with Donovan, saying he knows she can't keep her business open for the next months. He will force her out of the coffee shop if she cannot pay on time. Donovan is nervous and asks if there's an alternative. Frank tells her they should meet next week with his business partner to talk about the foreclosing processes. Billy interrupts them and gives the chai coffee to Frank. Donovan offers it for free since she still owes him. Frank sips the drink, and he likes it. He compliments Donovan before leaving. Sarah is delighted to inform Donovan that she ordered her favorite roasted turkey sandwich. Donovan doesn't respond and looks worried. Sarah asks her if she's fine and who was the guy earlier. Donovan tells her he is a satisfied customer. She doesn't want her workers or anyone in the family to know about the foreclosure of the shop. Ben finally arrives in the town. He is surprised when someone calls his name. Frank knows him, the famous playwright in New York. Ben looks confused as why he is talking to him like they know each other. Frank boasts he is also from New York. He assumes that Ben is visiting the town to get inspiration. Frank shares he is into investment banking, but he also does playwright. It's just that he got stuck only up to 30 pages. Ben smiles awkwardly because he wants to escape from the boring conversation. Donovan wipes a table and sees Frank talking to an attractive guy. She assumes he is Frank's business partner, who ordered the foreclosure of the shop. Her blood boils just by staring at him. Sarah wonders why Donovan is staring at the men outside. She asks if she has a problem and offers to hear it out. Donovan walks out, but tells her she is fine. Outside, Ben escapes Frank when someone calls him. Frank boasts on the phone about meeting him. Ben laughs as he walks away and goes to the coffee shop after. Sarah is lost in the moment when Ben enters the shop. Donovan is the opposite. She doesn't find him cute because he is Frank's business partner. Ben asks for a minute to choose an order since it's his first time in the cafe. Minutes after, Donovan feels insulted because he orders tea instead of coffee. Ben finds coffee bitter and Donovan glares at him. They argue and Ben is forced to order decaf since he hates the natural taste of coffee beans. Donovan doesn't make his coffee and instructs Sarah to make it. Ben switches back to tea when Donovan leaves. Pissed off, Donovan calls Becky. She shares about the arrogant city guy customer earlier. Becky wonders why her sister is heading home early. Donovan doesn't know either. All she wants is to walk away from the annoying guy. Becky is stuck at the beach with Kevin. While she takes Donovan's call, Kevin talks to someone on the phone. It is Ben, who informs him he arrived at the coffee shop. Ben finds an employee rude. If Sarah and Ellie were not there, he would have left the place earlier. At the same time, Donovan explodes as she recalls how the guy calls her bitter. Becky laughs, but tries to sound serious. Ben asks Kevin when they can meet. Kevin tells him they can have dinner tomorrow at his place. At the same time, Donovan asks Becky if she has time to hang out with her. Kevin tells her to invite Donovan, same time and place. When the call ends, Becky wonders why Kevin is smiling. Kevin tells her he talked to his college friend, and it seems his plan worked. However, he does not explain this further to Becky. Ben talks to Ali about the tea. That tastes great. Ali is flattered and continues to entertain him. He suggests ignoring Donovan because she might be having a bad day. Ben is surprised to know the rude girl earlier is the owner. Ali confirms this and shares how the life of his boss is like a romantic comedy. He spills that Donovan has theories of dating men and studies them well to examine if it is the right guy. Ben finds it funny, but thinks that her life is more of a horror one. He starts writing after such discovery. Becky is preparing dinner for her sister when someone knocks on the door. It was Ben, Kevin's college buddy. She knows him because they are friends online, but he never posted about visiting the town. Becky was not expecting him for dinner. She awkwardly smiles and lets him in. Meanwhile, Kevin is delighted to see Ben. He tells Becky he invited him over. Confused, Becky pulls Kevin to the kitchen, asking why he invited a guy without her permission. She promised to give her sister a peaceful dinner night, but it seems she won't be comfortable dining with a stranger. Kevin wonders why Becky is angry. Ben is a nice guy, and he believes they will be a great couple. Becky disagrees because they agree to set up Patrick with her. He tells Becky to relax and trust the process. Their argument is interrupted after hearing the doorbell. Becky rushes to open the door, but she is too late. Ben opens the door, surprised to see the lady he hates from the coffee shop. Donovan has a similar reaction and questions him about ordering tea in a coffee shop. The two argue, and Ben wonders how she kept the shop open for years, with her rude customer service. Donovan, on the other hand, tells him to talk to his arrogant business partner, Frank. Donovan walks out, leaving Ben confused about who Frank is and what makes him his business partner when he is a playwright. Becky follows her sister and stares sharply at Kevin for his dinner date idea. The next day, Becky shares about Ben, Kevin's college friend. Donovan is surprised because she thought he is Frank's business partner. Shortly after, Kevin and Ben arrive. Donovan takes Ben's order and apologizes for what happened last night. She offers free tea to compromise for her behavior. Kevin is glad to see them reconcile. He shares more information about Ben that Donovan may be curious about. Ben accepts her apologies and tells her he wants to try the coffee. Donovan learns he is from New York, who currently is trying to find inspiration for his write-up. Donovan feels flattered that he visited the shop, in particular, to make it happen. While making the coffee, Sarah guesses that Donovan finds Ben nice. She is right, because Donovan starts seeing his good side. Sarah tells her to wipe the dirt off her face. Donovan rattles and removes it, while glancing at Ben from time to time. She feels embarrassed for talking to him with such face. Meanwhile, Ben is impressed with Donovan's hard work, after learning she started the shop at an early age. Kevin spills more facts about Donovan, to make Ben interested in her. The next day, Donovan bumps into Mr. Connor in the neighborhood. Donovan hears about his health issues and wishes him to be fine. Mr. Connor replies his health has nothing to do with selling the bank. Mr. Connor hears how Frank strictly manages the bank. Donovan confirms this and shares about the foreclosure of her shop. She also asks him if there is anything he can do to help her. Mr. Connor feels bad about what happened. He apologizes because he can't do anything about it, because Frank doesn't listen to him too. Days pass by, and Ben is already friends with Donovan's customers. He even plays chess with Max, where he usually wins. Ben is able to start his write-up because of the coffee shop. He seems to think more in the town than staying in New York. For him, cities are overrated, and living there is not enjoyable. Donovan asks Sarah if everything is ready for later. Sarah assures her she has prepared everything, including the flyers. Ben wonders about the event later. Donovan invites him and jokingly says to bring his wallet too. On the way to the coffee shop, Ben calls his producer. He apologizes for only sending him 5 pages of his work. It's the only one he finished, and he promises to send more once he is done. Surprisingly, the producer is happy. He likes the script he sent, as he imagines the ambience of the little town he describes. He also motivates him more to continue the progress he has already started. Ben is delighted to hear everything, and promises to call him back for the next pages. Ben is amused by the Brewing for the Better Future charity of Donovan. She has supported farmers who supply coffee beans to her shop through fundraising. Ben is moved by how she treats everyone behind her coffee business, building relationships with them. Donovan sings at the piano for the finale of the program. Ben is lost the moment she sings. His eyes glitters as he watches her. Donovan, on the other hand, also looks at him from time to time while performing. The guests applauded Donovan's talent, and Ben stood up to show his appreciation. The crowd congratulates Donovan, so Ben also walks closer to her. However, a man in a suit approaches Donovan. She seems to know the guy with the way she hugs him. It is Patrick, and Ben feels heartbroken, even if he doesn't know him. Ben plays card with Kevin and Becky, where he learns the love story of Donovan and her ex-boyfriend. Becky looks happy for her sister, and they seem to restore their romance. Ben is hurt to hear that, but pretends to stay composed. Meanwhile, Patrick and Donovan catch up at the dinner. Patrick shares that his sister is already married, and his mom organized the ceremony. Donovan is surprised, because she used to babysit her back then. Patrick asks about Kevin and Becky's relationship, because it seems like they will end up marrying each other. Donovan confirms this because they are already serious, and Kevin is the only person in the world who understands Becky at her worst. Patrick offers to drop her off after dinner. Donovan refuses, since it's only 3 blocks away. Patrick asks again if he can walk her home at least, but he fails. He then informs Donovan that he will visit the coffee shop tomorrow. Donovan is fine with this, and tells him his triple caramel coffee is waiting. Patrick is amused. She still remembers his favorite drink. They may not talk for more than a year, but she remembers even the tiniest of details about him. Silence fills the atmosphere. Patrick breaks it by saying goodbye. The two glance at each other like they don't want to end the night. The next day, Becky and Sarah are curious about how Donovan's date with Patrick went. Becky also wonders if Patrick shows an intention to continue their relationship. Donovan is also unsure about that. Patrick called her earlier, saying he couldn't stop by at the coffee shop, but he invited her for dinner instead. Becky is intrigued that Patrick has invited her out. She believes they are one step closer to getting back together. Ben arrives at the shop and compliments Donovan's presentation last night. He also expressed his admiration for the charity she supports. Donovan is flattered and thanks him for coming by. Meanwhile, the reason Patrick canceled his visit to the coffee shop is that he will be meeting Frank Miller. Frank is delighted to see him in person. He knows how popular he is in Chicago for his outstanding performance in the real estate industry. Patrick intends to help Donovan in saving her shop. He is willing to invest in Frank just to keep it. Patrick asks Frank if he is free on Thursday to settle things with Donovan's account. However, Frank is bound to leave for London the next day. Patrick suggests finishing the agreement that day. Donovan prepares for her date with Patrick, and she looks stunning in a dress. Donovan arrives at the restaurant when Patrick calls. He apologizes because he will be late by an hour, and promised to pick her up soon. Donovan informs him she is already at the restaurant. Patrick assures her she will be happy once he explains why he is late. Patrick signs the papers for the agreement with Frank. Outside the restaurant, Ben bumps into Donovan. He finds the man lucky for going on a date with her. Donovan feels awkward to hear this and asks where he is heading to. Ben is going to the place that sells gelato. Becky suggested this and he wants to try it. Ben tells Donovan that if she had not scheduled a date tonight, he would have gladly invited her for a gelato. Donovan replies she would love to eat desserts before her date. She still has an hour to wait and wants to go with him. Ben is delighted to hear this and searches for the gelato store together. Meanwhile, Illy and Sarah walk home when Illy shares that he knows about the coffee shop closing soon. He feels bad for Donovan and requests Sarah not tell her he knows about the foreclosure. Sarah agrees, also concerned about Donovan's situation. Suddenly they see her with Ben. They look so happy while eating gelatos. Their eyes also sparkle while sharing laughs during the conversation. Illy and Sarah are confused because it is Patrick whom she is supposed to meet. Regardless, it cannot be denied that they look great together. Ben and Donovan stay at the shore and continue talking about random things. Donovan shares she used to live in a lighthouse located in a similar town. She decided to live on her own to fulfill her dream of sailing. She then recalls her mom telling her lighthouses are not there to catch attention, but to shine on its own. Donovan laughs because she used to impress other people instead of living her life the way she wants to. Ben admires her mom, even if he never met her. Donovan tries to live life to the fullest, the way her late mother taught her. Moments after, couples gather at the center and dance nearby. Ben gets curious about this. Donovan explains it is a tradition in the town. She laughs, recalling when she is 12 years old, a boy invited her to dance. Ben shares he doesn't dance well, but is better than a 12-year-old boy. He invites Donovan to join the circle and dance. While enjoying the romantic atmosphere, Ben expresses his gratitude for getting to know Donovan and how much the town means to her. For Donovan, the town is part of her, and she is part of it too. Apart from this, Ben also admires the coffee shop, especially the charity. Donovan agrees that her shop has a different ambience from others. If only she can scoop a part of it and give it to someone, she would gladly offer it to make them feel great too. Ben and Donovan stare into each other's eyes. Ben leans toward her, and they are about to kiss. But a phone call interrupts the romantic moment. Donovan bids goodbye because she will be going somewhere. Patrick accompanies Donovan home. He tells her that it's been almost a year since he left for work. It was his biggest mistake, and he wants to fix it now. Everything has felt the same since then, and he wants to continue the relationship. They kiss, after which Donovan tells him she will think about it. Becky sneaks in the window, delighted to see them back together. Donovan leans on the door because she feels like she's floating on the clouds after the kiss. Becky runs to her and teases her about the kiss earlier. She gets excited about what to wear for their wedding day. Donovan clarifies they are not there yet. Becky laughs because it seems she has plans to continue the relationship. Donovan wonders how Patrick knows about her bank issues. He talked to Frank, and they decide to meet tomorrow at the coffee shop to discuss the agreement. Becky apologizes because she is the one who mentioned her financial status to Patrick. Becky gets excited to hear this because Patrick is investing in their future. She can't wait to see them together in aprons soon. Becky gets worried after hearing from Ellie that she was with Ben. Donovan pauses as she thinks about the great time she shared with Ben earlier. The next day, Donovan is in the mood to serve coffee. Ben arrives and orders his usual cup. Donovan is delighted to see he has a gift for her. It was a cup with a lighthouse, and it looked beautiful. Ben thinks it's the right time to have a cup of her own, because it's ironic that she owns a coffee shop, but doesn't have a mug especially made for her. However, Donovan leaves him after seeing Patrick. He is with Frank, the banker, with the papers for the agreement. Patrick kisses Donovan and tells her to calm down, because he has settled everything. Donovan holds his hands as they sit with Frank. Ben, on the other hand, sits at the adjacent table, looking at them. He seems hurt to see Donovan with Patrick. Frank immediately discussed the business. He tells Donovan that her shop could have been closed at this moment if Patrick had not stepped in. Donovan looks at Patrick because she doesn't know how to repay him. It is fine with him, and she doesn't owe him anything. Donovan can't believe her loan will be extended, and she can operate for a longer time. Frank gets the papers and lets her read them. The only thing she needs to do is to sign them. Donovan reads the contract, but wonders who Thomas is. His name is everywhere on the paper, and she has no idea. Patrick reveals that Thomas is his client, a potential buyer of her coffee shop. Frank demands Donovan to thank her boyfriend's excellent real estate skills, because she can earn a profit by only agreeing to the contract. Thomas intends to convert the shop into a parking space, together with the lot he bought nearby. Donovan trembles, because it is not the contract she expected. She cannot give up on the shop, because it's part of her life. Donovan gets mad at Patrick, because she feels betrayed. She runs outside crying, and Ben follows her. Meanwhile, Frank is upset about not closing the deal. Patrick tells him Donovan usually acts that way, and assures him she will return soon to sign the contract. Ben finds Donovan sitting on the bench near the shore. Donovan opens up to Ben about how she dislikes people who don't value the properties of someone. It seems like properties are garbage to be dumped anytime. All her life, Donovan never treated someone as disposable, but now, she herself has become a disposable person. She saved the shop from destruction and fixed it to be her own. It's worrying her that the shop will be torn down again. She wanted a place where people can laugh with friends and family while sipping a delicious coffee. However, she feels like a failure and that the shop will soon close. Ben shares that he is a failure too, and she can Google it if she doesn't believe him. He failed to make people satisfied with the last 2 plays he wrote. He is even criticized everywhere because of that. Despite everything, he is thankful it happened. Without those, he would not have met her. Donovan smiles, telling him she is happy he failed, because they got acquainted. Ben leaves after a while to give her time to process everything. Kevin and Becky go biking at the coast to check on Donovan. Becky is on Patrick's side and convinces Donovan not to dump him, just because he found a potential buyer for the shop. For Becky, Patrick loves her, it's just that he shows it differently than she expects. She lets Donovan choose between foreclosure or selling the shop. Either way, she will lose the establishment, but there is Patrick, who loves her so much. The next day, Donovan sets a meet-up with Patrick. She rejects the deal and let Frank foreclose the shop. She will not mind whatever the new owner builds over it. Patrick wonders why it's hard for her to let go of the shop when it's only a building. Donovan disagrees, saying it's more than a building for her. In the end, Donovan lets go of whatever attachment she has with Patrick. She realizes he doesn't love her for who she is, but for the Donovan he wishes her to be. Patrick is too stunned to speak and cannot put into words how to convince Donovan to be with him again. Ben receives a call from the producer while he is buying flowers. He is impressed by the write-up he made, confident that it will be a big hit soon. He is also amused by the people he meets in the town, and all fit the wonderful story he made. Ben feels flattered and hopes the readers and viewers will like it too. Meanwhile, at the coffee shop, Donovan informs Illy and Sarah about the foreclosure of the shop. She apologizes for not being able to fight for it. Illy and Sarah already assumed this, and they feel bad for her. Similarly, Max gives her advice. He says it doesn't count how plenty someone steals from her, but how she takes care of the remaining things. Ben arrives and confidently asks Donovan on a date. Donovan can't stop smiling and instantly accepts his invitation. Ben brings her to the beach and covers her eyes with a piece of cloth. Donovan is surprised to see a boat and 2 mugs and coffee. Ben recalls she saying that she dreams of being a sailor, so he grants it. Donovan is thrilled, especially when the boat tours around the place. The following day, Becky waits for Donovan to return home. She shows her the pages and notes of Ben's play, where he belittles the little town, and makes fun of her for being desperate about love and studying men. Meanwhile, Ben thanks Kevin for the boat idea he suggested. It worked because he made Donovan happy. Ben and Kevin are surprised when Donovan enters. She confronts Ben about the script he wrote about her. It all makes sense as to why he visited the coffee shop almost every day. Ben tries to explain, but she doesn't give him a chance. Donovan tells Ben how she thought of him as a genuine guy, only to find out he used her for the sake of his work. Becky takes her to the park to help her unwind. After this, she drops her at the coffee shop to have a final look before the bank takes it. Donovan requests her to go inside first because she feels nervous. Moments after, Donovan musters the courage to get out of the car. Max waits for her and gives the card her late mother gave him when he lost the strength to walk again after an accident. Max knows she needs it because the message motivates him to continue living, despite the odds. Donovan reads it and it tells her not to lose hope because no one has ever seen, heard, and imagined what God has prepared. Donovan thanks Max because she feels at ease after reading it. It amuses her to imagine it's her mom who wrote it. Donovan opens the door of the coffee shop. She finds all the special people in her life gathered in one place. For them, Donovan deserves to be celebrated too. Illy and Sarah give a heartwarming message to Donovan for being patient in the 10 years they worked together. Meanwhile, Becky and Kevin recall how they met through Donovan's coffee shop. For Becky, her sister fulfills her dream of putting smiles on people's faces. Suddenly, Ben arrives. He also has something to say to Donovan. Becky stops him, but he continues. Donovan announces to everyone not to listen to him because he belittles the town and calls her desperate in his write-up. Ben shows everyone the full copy of his play. Donovan and Becky only read the first 5 pages. Ben says he didn't only write a play, but a confession of his love for her. Everyone screams out of happiness for both of them. Donovan is teary after she confirms if he truly loves her. They share their first kiss, and it makes everyone emotional. Ben promises he won't let the coffee shop be taken away from her. He fulfills this promise because his play is a hit. Donovan is amazed as she watches the actors who give life to their story. Ben's advance paycheck is enough to get back the coffee shop. Donovan insists on paying every cent, but Ben refuses. He suggests they could be business partners. Meanwhile, Kevin and Becky announce their wedding. They dream it to be as extravagant as possible. In the end, Donovan and Ben are in aprons. They work together at the shop and let everyone taste the love they serve in each cup.